What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. So Donatello is at it again. This time, I guess the they're using the talking point that the only reason why Mike was so dominant wasn't because he was individually a great basketball player or individually a dominant player. They're now going with that. They're going with the narrative that he just had more talent on his team than every other team of that era. Now, this is what's interesting to me. They'll say that Jordan dominated the '90s because there was no talent in the league. Right? It was a garbage league, and it was just a bunch of plumbers and taxi drivers and window washers and bums that they just picked up from goddamn rec league centers and just gave them NBA contracts for Jordan to eat off of, just to devour them the way that they perform it. But then he says, this guy Donatello, that Jordan was playing on a super team that had 4 All-Stars simultaneously, as if they're like almost like a mini modern day Bill Russell Celtics. Like all this great individual talent is just on this team, and they're just dominating a comparatively weak league, I guess. I don't know what he's talking about, man. I honestly, at this point, when it comes to these grifters, I really, I mean, I don't really have much respect for them at all. But now it's to the point where I'm like, man, do you have any respect for your audience? Like, these guys really aren't putting any thought in their videos. To me, it's like I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like the arguments that they make for their dude is so weak and rudimentary and elementary and basic like fucking kindergarten shit, man. It's insulting. It's like, damn, can you guys do any real research? It's just the most stupid, fucking semi Skip Bayless talking points. But here it is, man.
That's why he was dominating. And it's mind-blowing to me that no one's understanding this. He didn't play a team with more than 2 All-Stars on the team. He had 4 on his, and he had the greatest coach.
Lord have mercy. Now Michael Jordan had 4 All-Stars on his team. 4. These are the lies that I'm talking about here. Now he had 4 All-Stars on his team. And he shows a picture of Mike, Scotty, Rodman, and I guess Harper. I guess that's what he said, right? Look. Scottie Pippen was not an All-Star in 1990-91 when the Bulls won the championship. And he wasn't an All-Star in 1997-98 when the Bulls won their last championship. So that means that 2 of those championship runs, Mike was the only All-Star on that team. Okay? Dennis Rodman was an All-Star twice, but it was when he was with the Pistons. He was never an All-Star with the Chicago Bulls. Between 95 and 98, he was never an All-Star. If it was, because I didn't look at the picture that well, I couldn't see it that well, but it looked like it was Rodman. If it's Horace Grant that he's showing, Horace Grant was an All-Star once, 93, 94, and that was the year that Mike was retired. That was the year Mike was retired. As a matter of fact, Horace Grant, played better in 94 than he did in 93 when they won the title, as did Pippen. Pippen played a lot better in 94 than he did in 93. They regressed from 91, 92, which is why, in addition to the Bulls having a weaker bench, Jordan did more heavy lifting in 92, 93. The bench was weaker, and his so-called trio members of the big three, Horace Grant and Pippen, played more uneven and more and worse in 92, 93. And Ron Harper was never an all-star. So I don't know what this dude's talking about. Ron Harper was never an all-star. B.J. Armstrong was only an all-star in 93, 94. I tell you one guy, though, that had a team with a whole bunch of future Hall of Famers, and they only won 33 games. That was LeBron James in 2021-22, when you had himself and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony, and I believe Rajon Rondo was on that squad, and Dwight Howard. That's 6 future Hall of Famers on one roster, and they won 33 games. Meanwhile, in Michael Jordan's last season in the NBA with the Washington Wizards, with only Jerry Stackhouse, who I think was an all-star once, they won 37 games. With Rip Hamilton, who might have been an all-star once, I'm not sure if he ever was an all-star. Maybe once or twice at best. They won 37 games. Almost twice the amount that they had won the year before Mike came out of retirement. You know, the old man. These guys are just making up any and every fucking thing. And if you're going to say that Phil is the greatest coach of all time, okay. Well, Phil only won one head coach of the year award. Mike Brown has 2. You know, the guy that the media loves to downplay because it doesn't feed into the narrative that LeBron never had a great coach. But, you know, you got Mike Brown with an NBA championship and 2 head coach of the year awards. But, you know, they'll tell you he never had a great coach. You know, this guy also was coached by, oh boy, I can't think of his name right now, with Miami. He's a future Hall of Fame head coach, Eric Spoelstra, but they try to downplay his accomplishments. He went to 2 NBA finals past the LeBron era in Miami, but they don't give him props for that. You know, I see people now making arguments that Allen Iverson is greater than Dwayne Wade, which is shit that we have never said before. Just as recently as a couple years ago, Allen Iverson was considered a top 40 all-time player. Dwayne Wade is considered top 20, 25, but now all of a sudden, to make LeBron look greater, now you're trying to push Wade, who won a championship almost seemingly by himself in 2006. Now you awful pieces of shit. Despite what I think about Dwayne Wade's personal life, that don't matter right now. You guys are trying to take away Dwayne Wade's legacy from up under him. This is how insidious and evil these people are. They're supposed to be LeBron's friend, but yet he's sitting idly by while all of his little minions are trying to pick apart at Dwayne Wade's legacy to make LeBron look greater. This is how fucked up these people are, bro. They're evil. And these dudes don't care about basketball, man. All they care about is making that money with their devilish asses, getting hits, likes, and clicks and views to sell propaganda and lies, to pander to an audience. An audience that does not prioritize wanting to be educated. They just want their biases and ignorances validated. That's it. That's it. That's all it's about. Nobody, and I mean nobody, who watched the Chicago Bulls in the 1990s, especially if you watched that 97-98 season, there's nobody watching that team and you said, man, this team is loaded with talent. Man, Michael Jordan got it easy. Nobody thought that shit. And it's disrespectful, and I wish Roy Jones was 25, 30 years younger so he could find some of you motherfuckers and show you what time it is. regurgitating this nonsense. And some of you dudes are old enough to know better than this. Some of you dudes look older than I do. But then again, I look younger than my age. So, I don't know what that, sometimes it's deceiving, but still, some you guys are definitely, if you're over 40, you know better. You definitely know better if you're over 50 like Shannon Sharp. But, it is what it is, man. Sad. Sad, man. So what you guys think?